The real question I'm answering today is simple. What kind of content actually drives leads and revenue for personal brands? And I'm not talking about impressions, not followers, not vanity metrics. I'm talking about actual pipeline. Over the last year, I've audited more than 100 personal brands generating millions in revenue collectively. And every single one of them had decent content. But only a few of them, maybe 1%, had revenue-driving content. So I mapped it all out. And today I'm gonna walk you through what that 1% did differently so you can stop guessing and finally build a personal brand that drives results. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I noticed is they knew their content pillars. The best performing accounts didn't just post randomly. They weren't hopping from business tips to day in the lives to life advice and hustle quotes by the next Friday. They had 3 to 5 lanes and they stayed inside of them. Every post had a role reinforcing their expertise. Every thread or breakdown was building this larger identity. For example, a SaaS founder posting pricing decisions, team structures, and feedback loops, it was consistent. An agency owner talks about client acquisition and sales processes and fulfillment, or a creator operator who rotates through systems and delegation and content strategy. All their content is congruent. Now, why does this matter? Because repetition builds mental real estate. When your content is focused, people start associating you with a very specific skill, niche, or solution. When you're known for something, demand gets easier. People don't need to remember everything you say. They just need to remember what you're doing it for. And if you want to be in the top 1%, you need to own your lanes the same exact way like these guys do. Number 2 is they build trust, not just visibility. This is where most brands lose the plot. They go viral, they get reach, but none of it sticks. Why? Because people don't trust you just because you show up on their feed. They trust you when they see consistency, perspective, depth. The best performing accounts in my audit weren't posting basic shit. They weren't doing the same top 3 tips posts that everyone else does. They were sharing unpopular opinions that made their ICPs think. They were showing transparent breakdowns of what went wrong in their business. They were talking about lessons from client calls or from friends and mentors. They were showing screenshots of process maps, revenue wins, or even growth failures. Even stories from the actual trenches of building and operating and scaling their businesses. This kind of content is what I call personal brand equity. You're not just visible, you're credible. And when someone thinks, who can solve this? You're the first name that comes to mind. That's the difference between being followed and being hired by your perfect ICP. The third trend I noticed is they had a real content system. The top 1% didn't guess what to post. They posted based off systems. They treated their personal brand like a funnel, and each post had a job. There was top of funnel content, the tofu, short, bold, scroll-stopping content to attract attention from the right people. Second up was the middle of the funnel, the mofu, trust-building stories, breakdowns, frameworks, and insights to create familiarity and get people to nod their heads to trust you. Then there's the bottom of the funnel, the bofu, the case studies, the testimonials, the soft-selling call to actions, and offer-focused posts that directly led to sales calls, signups for the newsletters, demos, etc. Now, what were the content systems that they had? Number 1 was how to come up with unlimited targeted content topics. Number 2 is how to create an initial content strategy brain. Number 3 is how to optimize your strategy weekly. Number 4 is weekly content creation systems with dedicated days for different tasks and leveraging AI for performance. They knew that not every piece of content was meant to go viral. Some posts are designed to attract, others are meant to build trust, and others exist to convert. And if you're not thinking in systems, then you're just posting. And posting without intent is exactly why content isn't performing. Listen, all these systems are high value and not the easiest to integrate. If you're building a personal brand, then you already know this. And that's where we come in to help. We have mastered the art of building a personal brand on X, LinkedIn, and newsletters. We're building personal brands for the most powerful agency owners and founders in the world and turning them into authorities, and we can do the same for you. If you're tired of creating content, but you know the importance of an online presence and want to scale and automate the personal brand process in just 30 minutes a week, then click the link in the description to apply to work with us, and we will turn you into an authority. Now, let's get into the next point. The fourth trend that I noticed is they focus on just one or two platforms. The top performing brands didn't try to be everywhere at once. They didn't try stretching themselves too thin across Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Substack, Medium, and more. They focused hard on one or two core platforms. The most common combo has been Twitter, aka X, and LinkedIn. Why? Because X is your content lab. You test ideas, you explore opinions, you refine your thinking and connect with real decision makers. LinkedIn is your trust engine. You expand ideas into long-form content, add proof, and directly speak to the decision makers. These creators I audited weren't lazy. They didn't just repost a tweet onto LinkedIn and hope it works. They repackaged ideas to make them more native. A short tweet might become a carousel. A one-liner might turn into a story on LinkedIn. A breakdown on LinkedIn might become a YouTube script later on and become platform native. Platform native, platform specific, platform optimized. That's how you grow authority across ecosystems without losing clarity. The fifth trend that I noticed is so boring, but they engaged strategically. See, here's the mistake that people think that content alone is enough, but the top 1% I audited understood something different. Distribution equals relationships. They built engagement systems that made their content visible to the people that matter. They use something we teach inside of our agency called the Dream 100, a list of 100 accounts in your industry that you want to either work with you or connect with you, and you engage with them. It's not a mega creator list of just A players. I'm talking about accounts in your niche, potential buyers, operators, other people building their personal brand. You want to connect with them. They showed up in the comments with real meaningful replies, real DMs, sharing posts, starting actual conversations without being spammy or transactional. Just real, thoughtful interaction, because the algorithm is social. And the fastest way to build trust is to engage with people whose audiences you want to reach. This isn't about engagement farming or being fake. This is position yourself in conversations that already have your buyer's attention. And the sixth trend is so important. They had weekly feedback loops. The top brands don't just guess. They analyze every week and they ask what posts got the most bookmarks, what topics drove the most replies or DMs, what didn't hit and why didn't it hit, what got the most amount of engagement and why, what content led to real qualified leads. They weren't looking for viral hits. They were looking for repeatable patterns, and they kept a swipe file of them all. They tracked the comments, documented what worked, refined the tone and the hook and the structure, and week after week, they were improving their content. They ran their content like an operator runs a growth team, with real metrics and KPIs, with curiosity, with intent, and the result is the content got sharper, their audience got tighter, and their pipelines got fuller. Most people treat personal branding like a performance. They chase reach and status and growth and hacks, but the top 1%, they treat it like an operating system. They know who they're exactly speaking to. They know exactly what to post, and they show up in the right places at the right time, and they consistently build trust with the people who matter. Now check this out. We've cracked this entire formula for building personal brands. We've done it for multi-7, 8, and 9-figure founders and agency owners all over the world, and we literally handle every single step of the system, from strategy to content to design, distribution, feedback, optimization, and more. It's literally got to a point where they only have to be involved for 30 minutes a week while we handle everything else. Now, if you understand the importance of a personal brand and want to work with my team to automate and scale your personal brand, you can click the link in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.